My name is Ben Booth, and welcome to Big Sky Voices.
And I'm Victor Walmet with Storyteller Films and Big Sky Voices, and our guest today is
Danial Williams. So glad to be among friends here.
Danial Williams is a local actor. What else do you do, Daniel?
Actor, writer, filmmaker, and what puts food on the table primarily is working as a studio teacher. So below the line, I work on crew with the kids, child actors, and help keep them safe on set.
But I was looking at this is not new for you. Over the years, 2012, 13, 14, 15, you have done a lot of stuff. TV, little commercials, small, short, and you've participated in some large movie things, haven't you?
Well, thank you. I've been very fortunate.
Tell me, Dan, what do you want to achieve? What are you in this for?
I think that's a great question. For me, I always felt like I would come back to acting. I loved it. Going back to high school and junior high productions, it just resonates with who I am. So I think I always knew that I'd come back to it. And going back to the very first role, I think was a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Elevator Boy, something like that, or maybe that was Mame, the musical. But anyway, so it just resonates with who I am. But like many people in the film industry, there's more than one hat. So it's not just about acting or directing or making films, but acting, writing, being a filmmaker, doing some casting. All of those things work together. And what I really see as being my life's work, there's a project that started for a 1-minute monologue that grew, and now it's I've got a first.
How long is it now?
Okay, I got to qualify this because a page of script generally equals 1 minute of film. Okay, the first draft, and this is what I'm calling brain on paper. It's not limited strictly to that, but various notes and so on. But the first draft's over 200 pages. That's the ore from which I will draw, or am in the process.
So you don't have that memorized yet?
I don't. I'm not off book, so got a ways to go with it yet.
All right. So let's do something. I want to show the audience something about Daniel. Daniel, I want you to look at me.
Okay.
And I want you to imagine there's a photographer over there.
Okay.
And when I say 3, I want you to turn to the camera and put on your pose face. You ready?
Okay. And what we're doing is just like perhaps for a headshot or
for a headshot. Yeah. You're at a party and the photographer says, "Hey, I want to snap your picture." Okay. Right. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, this is all about. We had a film party at this ranch between here and Santa Fe.
That's right.
And everybody was supposed to dress Western. And they were having open grilled barbecue, and it was good. The wagon wheels and all that. And you looked more authentic or refined than anyone there. There were about 250, 300 people there. And we did just that thing. I took a picture, and you instantly went into pose mode. And you know who I thought of? John Wayne, they said, worked for nearly 20 years to establish a certain image. And he finally got it.
Yes.
And when he got it, they were in the big time. He was generating a lot of films, and he could always pull in a successful film. And you have a look which I think is superb. It's exceptional. Have you had to work hard to develop that?
Thank you. Actually, no, it evolved very much. I'm retired military, and so clean cut. But whenever I've been retired since the mid-90s from the military, and whenever I was out of uniform, I would start the beard and enjoy it, and going back in uniform, boom, it'd come off. So this beard started my first day out of uniform, and I've shaved it a total of twice since the mid-90s, so in approximately 20 years, over 20 years now. And one was for a gig, a modeling gig actually, that I did not get. And the second,
that's got to be disappointing.
Well, it was, because I really wanted that. It was early on.
Yeah.
And the other was for headshots, because I wanted to. I wanted casting directors and directors and so on to be able to see me in other capacities. So if they needed me clean shaven, it's negotiable.
Yeah.
If they needed me with just a mustache, and I love going for, there's kind of a gangster look. You take everything else off here, and it goes from Western just like that, and all of a sudden, playing the villain's great fun.
Yeah. So what I did this for you, by the way.
Thank you.
I did a study of casting directors nationwide, and I said, how much do you weight the visual face, the visual image, when you're casting? Guess what? Everyone put that number one on the list. It wasn't how well they did their lines. It wasn't, although they did take those things into consideration.
Sure.
But everyone says, if he doesn't pass that, we already know we'll let him do the part. We'll dismiss him, in casting. Number one was the look. You've got the look, and which I think is extraordinary.
Thank you.
But if I wanted to cast someone in the form of some form of Western or 1800s type person, your hair, your beard, everything to me, don't you think he's got it?
Yeah, you've definitely got to look for sure. Yeah. So your resume says you're SAG eligible. What's that
that's
mean?
Correct. I saw on Facebook the opportunity to submit for a featured role where they were looking for people with real world medical experience. I'd been an EMT for about 16 years, in addition to teaching and such. But I submitted. The director liked my look. Well, it was Wally Pfister. And so I got a call from the background casting director, Elizabeth Gable. She said, yeah, come on in. Here's what we didn't know. That morning, the first morning we were shooting, Wally Pfister gathered us up. This was shooting Transcendence. And he gathered us up and he says, I have rewritten this scene. And we had a medical team of 4 of us. And he said, I want you to give me the lines and I want you to give me the actions to make the scene realistic. And we huddled up and we knew exactly what it meant. One of our team members was already SAG eligible, but the other 3 of us were not. And what we knew is that we would all end up with lines, we would all end up with significant actions as part of the scene. And so in Transcendence there is a transition from a military scene where a guy had just gotten shot multiple times in the chest with a machine gun, pretty tough guy because he's still alive. Our job is to try and save him. And so and we took that seriously. We huddled up, it evolved. The director wanted to hear stat. He wanted to hear the word stat. Okay, get Epi on board stat. And so 6 hours it went from being working background to Taft-Hartley being eligible to join SAG. So going back to your question, Victor, it means I could join SAG at any time. I love acting. I do a lot of student films. I do a lot of indie films. Many of my good friends who are actors join SAG right away. Good news for them is that it helps them be taken seriously. Here's the catch. It means they can only work on SAG productions. So you
can go both ways.
I can go. Yes, I can. I can work on both union productions and non-union productions.
Nice.
But on my next production, I'll be a must join, and then I'll be joining SAG. I'll look forward to joining those ranks. But it has allowed me to work on many productions that I could not have. Lots of student and indie things in particular.
Can you tell us about a particular performance that you did, or a particular team that you worked with that stands out, that was, that really connected you, that you felt like was a happy, wonderful experience?
I've got to say, I have so loved working with the students at Santa Fe University of Art and Design. They've got an incredible film program. Sadly, the school is closing. That is no reflection on the instructors or the students who make great films. But
so it's not your fault.
It's not my fault.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've literally, without exaggeration. I mean, I enjoy, as an educator, as a dad, I've enjoyed working with the students there. And I've done about 100 films in the last 5-6 years with SFUAD. But there was one that was actually kind of a tough one for me to do emotionally, because it is so far from who I am. And there are 2 kinds of roles I normally totally pass on. One is pedophile roles, not interested, because I feel like we have to have healthy boundaries, and I don't want people to see me that way.
Right.
The other is racist roles. There's too much hate in the world, and we need to move past that. And this was mildly so, but it had a really good message. And so it was one that working the Alejandra Castro, Leah Gotts, both freshmen at the time. We're making a film called Crumbs, Crumbs. It's on Vimeo, and it's an amazingly well done film. They won Best Freshman Film as selected, but doing that, it went way out of. I was playing a less than nice guy there, but it was a story that had to be told, and the real story was arguing for. There's a young mother who is more qualified. I'm a job applicant in that. A young mother who's Hispanic is more qualified than me. I'm being welcomed. She's not. So I played the bad guy, if you will, so that we could tell the story. And it was so beautifully told. And then the same young ladies, and I wasn't part of that film, but Alejandra and Leah, again, in their senior year at SFUAD, their film won the best film as seniors. So they had gone from just cream of the crop, walking in the door as freshmen, and again,
they
as
walked
seniors,
out that
they
way.
were
Huh?
amazing, yes.
Nice.
And they still are, and I look forward to working with them
And so
again.
you still have good feelings about that
Oh.
experience. Isn't it?
Oh, I do. It's one of the things I'm the most proud of, and that I feel the most honored to be part of. And so there are times. Sometimes it's easy for people to look at a role somebody's playing and say, what a terrible person. When in fact, that's simply a portrayal. It's not a reflection of what our inner beliefs are. And for me, it was an early experience, relatively speaking, with stepping into a place that emotionally was very different from who I am. But it allowed a story to be told that needed to be told, and I was able to make that contribution.
So I noticed that you have a lot of martial arts training as well. What does that bring to an actor's career, to your physical? How does that affect your physical presence?
I think that's a great question. Thank you, Victor. In real life, martial artists don't get in fights. I mean, they just don't. And part of it, I truly believe, is that martial artists tend to carry themselves with confidence.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Please.
With a little short story. I'm trained with a guy who was a very expert martial artist, and he said, if there's a guy 15 feet away from me in the bar that's a threat to me, says, I have failed because I should have seen him 100 yards away. That. So it's throwing that in.
I can appreciate that. Truthfully, I think part of it is relating to individuals as people and being able to see. And so are there times that you can see from somebody's body language, this person is potentially a threat? Sure. And so speaking for myself, I try and head that off by either, are there times I would leave? Yeah, there are.
So how does that work into your acting?
It opens all sorts of doors.
How do you mean?
Well, and part of it is the ability to fall safely.
Okay.
That can play into it. As a gunfighter, I'm dressed in cowboy garb today, but as a New Mexico gunfighter, we were doing gunfights on the streets, Old Town Albuquerque and around the state, the plaza in Santa Fe. So there were times where I got shot a lot. That was part of my role. So often as an outlaw, so occasionally as a sheriff. But anyway, so the part of it is being able to fall safely. Part of it is just the way you move. There was a production that came up and it didn't require hard martial arts, but they said we want a martial artist because we want somebody that can move and look authentic.
Have fluid moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. You're also trained in firearms, right? You can.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, they're in the military. I actually qualified with 45, 38, M16 on an annual basis for.
So you can bring that
4 years.
expertise to a role as well.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've also served as armorer, so I've helped out on crew, and there it's about keeping everybody safe. And the real danger, and a lot of people don't realize, oftentimes it's real weapons that are used on set.
Yes.
So, but often here's the real danger on set is not necessarily the pretend weapons that we would use or real ones, because they're very safe about making sure there are no live rounds in it.
Right.
And even blanks can seriously injure or worse. But it's somebody else with a gun, with live rounds, that maybe sees a situation that's part of a film. So part of it is helping protect so that the police know here's what's happening. You're clearly marked that it's a film shoot. If it's not an actual scene where somebody needs to have a weapon in their hand, it gets tucked away right there out of sight.
Okay.
And so it's keeping everybody safe.
In 60 seconds, tell me this. I've noticed a lot of actors start producing films on their own. It's like if that's their way of taking it, control of their destiny, I think. How serious have you considered doing your own productions in film, a full feature film?
Oh, it's going to happen. It absolutely is going to happen. The project I mentioned is a in-country, The Long Way Home, Vietnam vet. This is not a down and out guy. This is a guy who has survived. He's respected in his community, but he has never really dealt with his loss. He's never dealt with his demons, and there are things that bring those up, and he does. He does face them. So it's absolutely going to happen, and I see actually not just one but 3 feature films, and they're a famous actress here in New Mexico named Miss Sonny Booth that you are well familiar with. I have
her.
great
She's
respect
a
for
lovely
her.
lady.
She is a lovely lady, and my sincere compliments, Ben, on having her in your life. She has actually been part of the inspiration for the second film, which the first one, Vietnam Vet, the second one still features characters from the first movie, but in the second film, there is, it actually starts off with a vet who is in Iraq, or Afghanistan, it could go either way, but as of now, in Iraq, and he is running, and he's going through this area that is, he's trying all these doors and it's locked and he's not able to get through. And I can so visualize it, and it's the opening. And I can tell you, Sonny was the inspiration, and she's the one that shared an insight, and I could so see the opening to that film. So
I can already
it's
see the
coming.
scene.
It's happening. Oh yeah, it's powerful.
Well, we look forward to seeing that up on the big screen.
Listen, we believe you are a big voice that is going to be bigger. That's why we wanted to do this show with you.
Thank you.
I congratulate you for who you are, for what you are, for your future, which is going to be great. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they contact you? Email, phone? What is the best way?
I would say probably email and phone. I'm on IMDb listed as Richard Danial Williams, the way I'm typically credited, although Daniel Williams is what my friends call me. DANIELW58 phone number 505-699-6777.
And that's the new number, right?
That is the new number. It is. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. It's so good to have you here. And thank you for Big Sky Voices.
Good. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Pleasure, gentlemen.